Now on CoastTV News.
A safety upgrade for Route 1. DelDOT considering new bike and pedestrian bridges. We'll show you the plan and the pushback. Green boundaries. Retail weed stores can now build closer to towns. What changed after today's Sussex County Council vote? And the Epstein files fight. A near unanimous House vote pushes for full disclosure. What happens next in the Senate?
This is CoastTV News at 11.
The Epstein files inch closer to the public domain after today's House vote. Good evening, and thank you for being here with us. I'm Christina DeRobertis. Well, months after legislation forcing the Justice Department to release its Jeffrey Epstein case files was first introduced, the House passed it and will formally transmit the bill to the Senate tomorrow morning. The bill is expected to pass there and be sent to President Trump's desk for his signature. Maribel Gonzalez reports on the dramatic shift to release the files after months of GOP infighting.
First in the House.
On this vote, the yeas are 427, the nays are 1.
Then, under unanimous consent in the Senate.
The Senate has now passed the Epstein bill as soon as it comes over from the House.
The bipartisan bill forcing the Justice Department to release all of its case files tied to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein garnered near unanimous approval from both chambers of Congress. Louisiana Republican Representative Clay Higgins was the only lawmaker to vote against the bill in the House, saying the legislation was written in a way that might harm innocent people. Many of the Epstein survivors disagree.
We were victimized as children and failed repeatedly by the very system that was supposed to protect us. That's why we stand here today, to demand justice and accountability, not just for Epstein and his crimes, but for every predator and every enabler who participates in or protects abusers.
GOP Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene joined survivors on Tuesday, pushing back against President Donald Trump's attacks after he called her a traitor for supporting the Epstein files vote.
I want to see every single name released so that these women don't have to live in fear and intimidation, which is something I've had a small taste of in just the past few days.
The next step for the Epstein bill is a signature from Trump. I'm Maribel Gonzalez reporting.
And it is important to note that President Trump could change his mind and choose to veto the bill, which would then require a 2/3 vote to override the veto. He could also decide not to act on the bill, allowing it to become law without his signature. In local politics today, the Sussex County Council voted to change retail marijuana store zoning rules. Retail weed stores can now be built in C2 medium commercial as well as C3 heavy commercial districts. Council Vice President John Riley was the only council member to vote no on this measure. He said the new rules do not uphold the safety and welfare of people in Sussex County. Now, the new rule passing allows retail weed stores to open up within a half mile outside of a city or town. That boundary was previously 3 miles. One Milton local that we spoke with about this today says they think the 3-mile mark should have stayed.
I think it's too close. 3 miles is fine. If people want to smoke marijuana, they can drive 3 miles. But I don't think it needs to be that close to town and where kids are and all.
The required distance retail weed stores have to be from other retail stores, also schools and churches. That has not changed. It remains 3 miles. And marijuana restrictions are no stranger to Sussex County. Dewey Beach, Fenwick Island, South Bethany, Bethany Beach, Milton, and Rehoboth Beach have all banned retail marijuana completely. Lewis has been considering regulations to allow it. Dagsboro voted to ban the sale and production recently, and Frankfort and Georgetown, they do allow it. This brings us right into our CoastTV poll tonight. We're asking if you think Sussex County should have loosened those restrictions on where marijuana businesses can go. Let's look at the results. 61% yes, 39% no. This is more yeses than we saw in our earlier broadcasts, and you can let us know what you think. You can still vote. Go to coasttv.com or use our mobile app. Now let's take a live look into Lewis and turn it to our first alert, Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams.
Well, we're starting to see things stay pretty convoluted for right now because we have the rain that's actively moving throughout our area. Nothing all that severe, but enough to make the roads a bit on the wet side and making it a little bit of a raw feel outside. We see scattered showers now continuing, push across Highway 113 between Cross Keys and Frankfort. We also have some lingering light showers along Highway 54 from Del Mar going across just north of Whaleyville and towards Ocean Pines and Herring Landing. And Lewis is picking up some scattered showers right now. We widen the scope here and you can see it's all encompassing of the entire Del Mar Peninsula, but once again, we're looking at a range between light to moderate shower activity, no thunderstorms, no rumbles or whatsoever that we're picking up. As far as what we're expecting for later on in the morning time, by 5:30 in the morning, the latest model run is indicating we may have some heavier showers down towards Ocean Pines and then towards Lower, but mainly toward Ocean Pines just south of Ocean View. We'll continue to monitor that. Christina?
Oh, thank you. Well, Route 1 in coastal Delaware might be getting a safety upgrade. DelDOT looking at putting 2 pedestrian and bike bridges along the busy road. One of those bridges would go near Lewis and the other near Rehoboth Beach. Both bridges would connect existing pathways for bikers and pedestrians by crossing over the highway. These projects are in very early stages though, so there's no final cost yet. However, state officials say similar projects cost $8 to $10 million each, a price point that has some people pushing back, but others say it's a worthy expense.
I don't think that is a good idea over here because this corner is not that busy, not many people walking through it. In my opinion, that is waste money for this project.
And it help the community, you know, people got kids and all that stuff that get on this bus also too, and especially like summertime.
There's also no official word on a timeline for the project. Officials say they're pursuing a federal grant to help push the project along here on Route 1. Looking across Delmarva now, Dover police are investigating a shooting they say happened yesterday on Cold Spring Place. Police report a driver's car was hit by gunfire. Thankfully, nobody was hurt, and police say there are no leads at this time. And according to Delaware State Police, a 19-year-old was killed after being hit by a car in Kent County, Delaware. Troopers say it happened around 10 this morning as a car was driving down Wheatley's Pond Road in Clayton. A man was walking on the shoulder of the road with his bike. Police say the car left the road and hit the 19-year-old who died at the scene. The driver, a 64-year-old man from Smyrna, was not hurt. DSP continues to investigate. The National Transportation Safety Board is releasing the findings of its investigation into the Key Bridge collapse. The NTSB says multiple power outages on the dolly caused it to crash into the bridge's southern pier, which then collapsed. Officials say an electrical breaker on the ship tripped, causing the blackout. Investigators also found the bridge was not rated for impact with modern vessels. And while many were saved by quick actions from police on the night of that crash, more direct communication with the construction workers on the bridge could have saved their lives. The timeline to rebuild the bridge is now stretching into 2030 with an estimated price tag between $4.3 billion and $5.2 billion. And we are just getting started. More news ahead, like Delaware's Office of New Americans, what the Meyer administration says it wants for the immigrant community. And coming up, Paul Williams is tracking your forecast in the First Alert Weather Center. Weather is in a few minutes.
Right now, we are wrestling with the rain. Now, at least it's not thunderstorms or really windy or anything like that. It's just, bothersome showers at best, leaving it feeling a bit raw throughout the rest of the late night hours. And it's going to last all night long going into tomorrow morning and possibly by mid-morning in some areas. But at least it's not stormy and it's not as cold as it could be. Dry-Tech camera, Ocean City, 49 degrees. We're going to stay in the upper 40s thanks to the cloud cover and the rain that we have right now. A bit of latent heat is being released every time you have water drops form. It leaves off a little small touch of heat called latent heat that kind of keeps us a little bit on the warmer side in a sense. We're holding at 41 degrees right now in places like Dagsboro, Gumboro, Millsboro, as well as Del Mar, and we're at 41 degrees in Laurel. Now here's a look at the rain. It's just pedestrian at best. Here's where we are specifically. So You're just catching a small chunk of it. Heavier, more intense cells actually to the northwest, and they're going to continuously die out and then move mainly to our north and out of our immediate area. We zoom in a little bit tighter to kind of show you what our vantage point is for right now. I mean, right now we're looking at, for example, Salisbury, where we got some wet roads there, and wet roads are going to be mainly the biggest caveat we have to deal with as it pertains to this rain. It's not a big deal. It is a deal, but not a quote unquote big deal. 44 degrees right now in Lewis as well as Rehoboth. We're at 42 degrees actually in Shelbyville. Millsboro 41 for the overnight lows. That's what we're expecting. So for tonight, we continue with the rain. For tomorrow, leftover moisture, you know. It's kind of like leftovers from eating a plate full of food. We're going to have some leftovers tomorrow morning and for the next few days in the form of thick cloud cover. But early morning hours, we're looking for at least one last wave to push through by 6:30 and 7 o'clock. Then the rain clears, but we still have the leftover residual cloud cover. You see how it's covering the entire area with white? That's indicating the cloud cover. Now, the precipitation, that's backed off even more so. It's just not much of an accumulating situation. Temperatures, that's been our big thing, 50 degrees for the high today. And we've been running a more blues than reds. In other words, we've been a little bit below the norm for this time of the year than above for the most recent days. But we're going to start trending back upwards here pretty quickly. 52 for the high in Lewis for tomorrow, 54 in Rehoboth. We anticipate 52 for the high in Fredericksburg as well as Cambridge. And we should get up to about 56 degrees in Snow Hill. Still, that's a couple of degrees below the norm, but it's a little bit closer, at least there. Winds pouring out of the north for us on Wednesday. Thursday, we have the winds pouring out of the north. Cloud cover still staying pretty persistent and not much movement. Temperature just kind of hovering in the 50s, and we just stay cloudy the whole time through. So, and as far as what's happening with our precipitation, we're going to stay a little bit behind schedule for the month. So we're going to continue to watch our drought meter because we're somewhere between dry and exceedingly dry and keeping a close eye on that. But we are supposed to rebound nicely with precipitation in the next couple of weeks or so. Here's a look at your extended forecast.
Thank you again, Paul. Delaware is launching a new Office of New Americans. Governor Matt Meyer says the goal is to better support the state's immigrant community. And as CoastTV reporter Ana Sofia Roman shows us, the office will offer help with citizenship, language support, and workforce programs.
Ronnie Baltasar Lopez is a son of immigrants himself and the former director of Policy and Communications at the Department of State. For his new role, Baltasar Lopez brings lived experiences to help others and says he's grateful for the opportunity to serve in this capacity.
It means taking the first step in the state of Delaware to ensure that our immigrant population, our community, their voices are heard and that there are vehicles and opportunities for them via the state process to help them integrate into our societies.
Neida Albarran is involved with the immigrant community in different capacities and says anything to help the community is a blessing.
Our systems are very unique to the United States, and so people from other countries might feel a little lost navigating through these systems and inserting themselves into these systems. And so having an office that will be there to kind of help them navigate and understand how the system works as they become new citizens and incorporate into our community in the many ways that they do and have will be such a help.
Baltasar Lopez says the Office of New Americans will work with organizations that have helped the immigrant community for years now.
It's an opportunity to convene all these organizations and make sure that we're all working in unison and not in silos, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're in Wilmington, an immigrant in Wilmington, or an immigrant down in Shelbyville, the needs are still there and the challenges are still there.
Taking a step to support Delaware's immigrant community.
And Baltasar Lopez said they are also getting ready to go on a statewide listening tour to understand the needs of Delaware's immigrant community and the organizations that are currently supporting them. That's expected to start in January 2026. It's that time of year again for the Bless Our Children campaign. If you don't know, every year CoastTV works to make the holidays brighter for kids across Delmarva. And the money you give, it goes to local charities who buy Christmas presents. Here's how you can support.
For many in our community, the holiday season can bring about stress, as they strive to create unforgettable moments for their cherished little one.
And that's where the Bless Our Children campaign can help, but we need your support to make it happen. All the money you donate goes to local nonprofit organizations which give gifts to children this holiday season.
And you know what, Mike? Every penny, every single one you give helps families right here in Delmarva because WBOC covers all administrative costs. Send a donation in a holiday card, and we may read your well wishes on the air.
Businesses can also help bless our children by accepting the Shell Brothers Bless Our Children Challenge by donating at least $1,000. As our thank you, we'll list your name on the Shell Brothers Honor Roll in order of amounts given in increments of $1,000.
You can donate by sending a check or money order to the address on your screen, or you can use your credit card online at blessourchildren.org.
Together, we can make the holidays this year a special one.
Bless Our Children is administered by the Draper Holdings Charitable Foundation.
Coming up next, self-driving tractors. Yes, they're real and farmers are already using them. We'll show you where. But first, boaters near West Ocean City could soon have an easier time navigating these waters when dredging is set to begin there.
This is Coast TV News at 11.
The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers are picking up where they left off. In July, the Army Corps got to work on an emergency dredging project near the Ocean City Inlet, but they eventually had to put that work on pause. Now, boaters in the area say that part of the inlet has been a problem for years. And so on Thursday, the Corps of Engineers plans to bring in dredge equipment, and they're going to use it to clear out 5,000 cubic yards of material near the West Ocean City harbor. In July, Dredge Merit did an emergency passover around the same area. That was before the White Marlin Open.
We've seen boats get hung up there, so I think it's important, and doing it when it's not, in season, where there's not a ton of traffic, probably makes most sense.
The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers says they plan to finish the project by November 25th, but if they can't complete the work in time, then they're going to pause for Thanksgiving and Black Friday and resume on November 29th. We'll turn now to a fascinating wave of new technology, changing the way America's farmers grow your food. Check this out. As we speak, AI-operated driverless tractors are toiling a handful of fields across our nation's heartland, with one major farming giant promising a nationwide rollout next year. NBC's Maggie Vespa dug into this state-of-the-art shift taking root across the Midwest.
Each fall across America's heartland, countless fields are toiled by farmers and their tractors. Or in this case, just the tractor.
That's insane. There's no one driving that.
There's no one
driving it.
Mike and Betsy Rowland own West Bureau Farms in central Illinois, one of at least 18 states where farmers this year are testing state-of-the-art AI tractor technology. A rural response, perhaps, to the self-driving cars increasingly spotted in major cities. Here, Mike and Betsy start their high-tech tractor from an iPhone.
Oh my gosh.
And save hours of work.
Over the weekend, I set it loose on the field, and then I went home, did some laundry, went and got groceries.
Before, it was you or me running this thing at 9, 10, 11, midnight, and you're exhausted. This can run by itself, and I can go home and go to sleep.
The tech, courtesy of agriculture giant John Deere, who's planning a nationwide rollout next year.
This has cameras mounted 360 degrees around the roof of the cab.
The massive machine navigates using satellites and cameras.
Ooh!
See, there you go.
That is jarring.
That stop it when they spot possible obstacles. The goal, to address deeply rooted problems helping drive up food prices, including a mounting labor shortage and an aging industry. The average American farmer is 58 years old.
They can actually let technology operate the tractor while, Betsy, Mike, others in their operation focus on maybe higher value tasks.
Mike and Betsy add this innovation hasn't replaced any jobs on their farm, just offered breathing room during the busy harvest.
This is the future of farming. I mean, it
This is
truly
the future of farming.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Coming up in sports tonight, the Philadelphia 76ers have been riddled by injuries to start the NBA season. We'll tell you when their stars should return to the court. And coming up, a safety upgrade. Wicomico County looking at weapons detection systems in all schools. What that could mean for taxpayers. Wicomico County leaders are continuing to push for improving school safety. Today, Wicomico County Schools presented the County Council with a plan to buy weapons detection systems, or metal detectors. The district wants them installed at every school, which would cost about $6 million. And the district will need the county to pay for most, if not all of that. But this is a project that county leaders say they're willing to help with.
With this request, with most of it being capital in nature, we should be able to go outside of the maintenance effort process. And if so, then that'll give us more flexibility. But I think school safety is vitally important. I think that's the one thing that we've heard today.
And the county does have a few options here. It could start by installing weapons detection systems at only high schools or only high schools and middle schools to save money. Moving to health news, doctors in Massachusetts say they are seeing an alarming rise in cases of preeclampsia. It's a potentially life-threatening condition experienced by some pregnant women. And as Priscilla Casper reports, the doctors want to know more about the uptick in cases.
Doctors at Mass General Brigham are still researching why preeclampsia, a pregnancy complication that involves high blood pressure, which can lead to stroke, kidney failure, and liver damage, is increasing in the U.S. According to the Preeclampsia Foundation, over the last 2 decades, the rate has increased by 25%.
I take my pressure again, and it was 185/117, and my machine alerted me, like, you're in hypertensive crisis. And I'm like, I don't know what that is, but it doesn't sound good.
For local mom Nicole Newman, she went in for a scan at about 32 weeks pregnant. After follow-up testing, she received the news that she had preeclampsia.
My kidney and liver values were getting worse and worse. They weren't able to keep increasing my blood pressure medicine. So then I had to deliver my daughter at 33 weeks and 3 days pregnant.
Her daughter Amber was born early and spent weeks in the NICU. She said the experience was isolating because she didn't know what to expect and how it would affect her daughter.
It's alarming because it is a major source of preterm delivery, and it's a major source that's associated with maternal morbidity.
Dr. McElrath says some theories as to why more women are experiencing preeclampsia is that hypertension and diabetes in general are increasing in the U.S. population, and women are getting pregnant later in life.
Now there are finally some biomarkers that are available that actually help us decide if someone is severe preeclampsia. Does she need to be hospitalized? Could she potentially be managed at home?
Newman went online and found the organization End Preeclampsia, a group of medical professionals and moms who had it and are now dedicated to supporting other women going through it.
It was super helpful for me because then I was able to get information that had scientific evidence behind it, but also get some of people's actual experiences with, okay, what does this mean in reality?
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
In the association, the Philadelphia 76ers trying to get to 100%. Paul George made his debut last night against one of his former teams, the Clippers. Scored 9 points across 21 minutes, helped Philly push past LA. But while PG's back in the fold, how about Joel Embiid? I mean, it feels like we got to talk about this a lot, right? This is the thing with Joel. He's a beast. He's the best center in the NBA when he's healthy. Will he play tomorrow when Philadelphia returns to the court? No. But did he participate fully in practice today? He did. So at this point, just feels like it's a matter of if, not when, probably even later this week, that Embiid returns to action. I know I told you Paul George played last night. That's a fact. You're seeing the highlights right now. He played well off the bench. Well, maybe not off the bench, limited minutes, just over 20 minutes. He's not going to play tomorrow. Why? Well, load management, right? It's a buzzword in the NBA these days, but essentially, they don't want to push PG too far to the brink because it's a back-to-back. Philly plays both tomorrow and Thursday, so George will suit up Thursday, but he will not play tomorrow. for Philadelphia. So no George, probably no Embiid, he's doubtful. No Kelly Oubre, he's still working his way back from an injury. Jared McCain's got to come back too. At least it's early in the season.
Now here's a look into Ocean City. A little blurry out there, but Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams will have another check on your forecast after this.
The rain we received already wetting the roads and streets right now for us in Salisbury, so it's going to be a little slick outside, and it's not stopping. We're looking for this rain to continue for tonight into the early morning hours until about 6:30 in the morning, and wave of rain is going to continue to push throughout the entire region, and we're going to be affected all over the place, so it's not going to stop. Olivia Schmidt of Milford, congratulations. You're our umbrella giveaway winner, courtesy of Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling. Call our weather line to keep up with your forecast, sponsored by the law offices of Brockstead, Mendalis, and Federico. Your forecast is just a call away. And finally, here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast. And it's going to stay cloudy tomorrow, the day after that, then the day after that, and after that day, it's going to rain.
All right, got it. Thank you, Paul. And finally tonight we have a fun Thanksgiving story. Ahead of the big day, Heinz is out with a new condiment. It's limited edition leftover gravy sauce. The company says it's made with real turkey broth and it's available starting on Tuesday. So I wanted to ask Paul if you think you would try it. I would try it, but I know you're like super healthy.
They are selling stuff that you scrape off the plate after from last Thanksgiving and put it in bottles now?
Yeah, don't you love leftovers?
I love the innovation with business. I respect it.
That's what it is. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us for Coast TV News at 11 tonight. You can always find more news and weather on our Coast TV News app. And The Tonight Show starring
You would
Jimmy.
really eat that? You would really eat that?
The Tonight Show is next, and we're back tomorrow at 5 a.m.
Have a great night. Would you really eat that?
I would.